It has been a very hot day today. I feel like that's the story of summer here. But it's getting to that time in the day, it's just gone 6 now, where the temperature slowly starts to drop and you can kind of crack on with all the things you've not been able to do for the last few hours. So I'm going to get in the garden and I thought I would take you along. I'm just in the kitchen as well, actually tasting our homemade plum wine. Iwan poured me a very big glass. It's at about 11% alcohol now and it tastes really good. He reckons it needs a bit longer for the flavour to round off, but it smells like sherbet to me. It's really good. I'm really impressed. So I'm just sorting out some seeds actually. I've got a haul. I went and did a seed shop with thanks to everyone who's bought us a Ko-fi, because that's what I'm spending any coffee money on. It's not coffees, I'm buying seeds and compost. So I'll show you what I've got, and I've also been just collecting some seeds from stuff that's growing. So these are just some of the sunflower seeds I've been collecting because the birds have been eating them all, which is fine, they can eat most of them, but I did want to save some. And then these are some cosmos seeds, and then these are all the ones that I have bought from Sementes Vivas. They're quite a local company to us, they're in Lidana Renova, and all the seeds are organically grown, some of them are biodynamic, so I really love buying seeds from these guys. So this is the selection of what I'm gonna try and grow. I have also been putting together like a sort of Excel spreadsheet from information that I'm gathering of what I can kind of plant at this time of year here, and I've put in that the Portuguese name, the English name and the scientific name of the plant, and that's available on our Patreon. The link is in the description if you want to check out our Patreon. We're just getting started on that. But I've been reading recently about the scientific names of plants because I was worried about cross-pollination. So this is the scientific name of this cabbage. So Brassica is the genus, and you can only cross-pollinate the same genus. So I found that really helpful because, yeah, I was worried about planting my pumpkins near my courgettes, and I just didn't know what would cross-pollinate, and like my watermelons and things. So if you look up the scientific name, that can tell you which ones will cross-pollinate. So that was really useful, so I thought I would share that with you guys. Yeah, it's only in my garden now, I think it's just the courgettes, the cucumbers and the loofahs that are the same genus. And they're all the ones that are the most closely planted together. So I'm still trying to figure out if it's that the fruit now will be affected or just the seeds from that plant. It's really hard to kind of get a very clear answer because there's so many different opinions. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's why I've put the scientific names in there, and also the like plant family, because I think it's really interesting to see which plants are like related. So like I think it's coriander is in the same family as carrot, and you know, lavender's in the mint family. So yeah, anyway, all that information's on there, and I've put it so that it's what I'm planting in August, and I'll do it so that it goes through each month. And now I'm gonna get out of the kitchen because it's really hot in here still. I planted up a few seeds about 5 days ago, and some have started to come up, so I'll go and show you them. This one's Mizuna, this is amaranth, basil, these are pansies. I'm trying to write some of the names in Portuguese to test myself, so amor perfeito I think is pansy, parsley, which is salsa, coentros, coriander, what else have I planted? Nabo, so that's turnip, oh this is anise and some thyme, and then I'm just trying to propagate some rosemary from our enormous rosemary tree, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, and this growing in here is ginger, and that one is turmeric, so that is quite exciting. We've actually harvested some of the ginger already. Beautiful cosmos as always, and the tomatoes I have done a bit of rescuing off because they were just sprawling all over the floor, so I'm trying to tie them up a bit, but they're so big and heavy. But yeah, we're absolutely loving having all these tomatoes. I'm coming down to the main veg patch, but firstly in the strawberry bed we have our one watermelon that is slowly getting bigger. I don't know if I've ever actually been more excited about growing something than I am about growing this watermelon. Yeah, we'll go down to see what's going on in the main veg patch, and you can just see dotted around in the plateau some sunflowers coming up. We had a load of bird seed that the birds weren't eating, so I just scattered it all over the plateau. So what's funny with the veg patch at the moment is I always start here in the evening, and obviously I only have sort of a couple of hours in the evening to get everything done when it's cool enough, and each bed just progressively gets worse and more abandoned. But this one's looking really nice. So we've got the cucumbers here. They have been really producing the last week or two now, so they are a great snack in this hot weather. I've left some of them to trail, and then someone did comment that I needed to actually tie them on for them to grow up. And these ties that we get from the bread bags are really handy for doing that. So yeah, really happy with the cucumbers, they're really happy. We've got some more tomatoes, they're starting to give fruit now. The beautiful, beautiful fennel, I still can't get over it. It's the best thing ever. And I've actually just started taking a seed to snack on every now and then, because they taste like, I don't know if anyone knows those blackjack sweets we used to have when we were kids. They remind me of them and I loved them. And then the asparagus is doing okay actually. I thought I'd killed it, to be honest. But no, it's luscious and green. Now I've started watering it a bit more. We have had our first red chilli, and now there are a few more looking really good. And it's funny because they'll just suddenly go bright red and you'll walk past and you can just see it amidst all the green. Happy, beautiful smelling sage. And there's another chilli plant that's really cheered up as well. This one was tiny and now it's bigger than the other one. Oh yeah, there's some chilies in there. Exciting. The lemon tree, there was one lemon on this, and I think it's fallen off because I can't find it. But there's lots of new growth, and there has been some more blossoms, so we still might get some. We'll see, but first year we won't put too much pressure on it. Another row of tomatoes and the marigolds, well, only one, but it's so beautiful that it's doing a good show all on its own. And then this path here is just overgrown with chamomile, but I've just been walking on it and it smells amazing, so I'm leaving that to sort of be the path. And we've got some pepper plants here, and I did spot one earlier that was looking really good. There it is. Very exciting. I love peppers and we've not had any yet, so waiting for you. One of the courgette plants, see, look how close the courgettes to the cucumbers. Hopefully it's far enough, but there is the loofah plant here which is not very happy. I don't know if we're actually going to get any loofahs. We shall see. Obsessed with cosmos. I've got more seeds, so it's going to be an absolute forest. I've still got a few carrots in. We pulled up an absolutely huge one yesterday. Maybe I'll pull one up and see how it's looking. Actually, this one looks like it's not very good. It's absolutely tiny. Oh, let me find a big one. It'll be fun to pull up on here. He's alright. I think I did take a video of the really long one, so I'll put it in. So yeah, as you can see, this bed is a bit more abandoned. There is a row of tomatoes that I've propped up there and all the mizuna, so I still need to collect more of these seeds. I saw on our Portuguese homestead, which is a great channel by the way, you should check out, she was talking about making mustard because mizuna's from the mustard family, so I wondered if I could make mustard. I've never tried that before, so have a go, see what happens, because I've already collected loads of seeds, there's absolutely millions, and I've got more growing now. These are the Lardosa beans, the black-eyed peas that my neighbour gave me, and they are looking really happy and lush. We've not really been eating many of the beans we're growing, but they are fixing nitrogen into the soil anyway, so they're a good crop to grow. The beans here, these are, I don't know the name of them, but you can eat these without cooking them for as long, and they're just like, there's a sunflower in here somewhere, and they're kind of dwarfing the sweet corn that I'm growing, so I think I'm going to cut them back. Look at these lovely sweet corns. So I read that each one of these silks goes to one of the pieces of corn. So on the cob you've got all the little corns, and that's how they get fertilised. So on the corn they've all got different dads. But yeah, how cool is that? They lead to the cobs. Courgette, doing really well. Yeah, there's a little one growing there. They've definitely needed more water than I've been giving them. There's another one there amidst the potatoes that's definitely not getting enough water. And as you can see, this is the most abandoned bed. So that's my plan for this month, is to clear and prep the beds ready for all the seeds I'm sowing now to be planted into. Lovely chamomile. More very abandoned beans. Sorry beans. These guys are still growing strong. I think there's another one growing there. There's another one up by the house as well, so they've been a nice surprise. And this white cosmos is just incredible. I'm definitely going to try and collect some of the seeds from this, because what a plant. Incredible. I can't see any seeds on it yet though. They're kind of, maybe they've not been fertilised, or they're still developing. My friend Harriet bought me all these plants and this beautiful hawthorn tree. I can't wait. I think it's struggling a little bit with the heat, but it's doing okay. I've given it a good water today. And then we've got some lemon balm, and it smells so good. And lots of lovely flowers in here. And again, this is a bed that's kind of been a little bit abandoned, but I've planted some hibiscus. This is I can't remember the scientific name of the hibiscus that you can drink the tea from, but it's this one. And in case you were wondering how we water, at the moment we have to fire up the generator, and then this is our submersible pump on a rope that gets flung in here, and the frogs all make a lot of noise when I do it. But yeah, we've still got absolutely loads of water. But yeah, I think that's it from the veg garden at the moment. I'm going to go plant the seeds that I bought and take care of the seedlings, and then I'll do another update, like a full garden update in a month. I'm thinking of doing like a monthly segment of the veg garden, and I can share what's gone well, what's gone wrong, and all the things I've learnt along the way. So yesterday evening I was showing you what's growing of what I've purposefully planted in the garden, but I thought I would do a quick show of the things that feel a bit more like we're foraging them from the land that have been established here, like this lovely apple tree, which we've collected a load of apples from. So this is just over the side of the border on the other side of our land, and the apple tree is just on the borderline, so we're just picking the ones that fall on our side. And we've got this lovely cork here and then some grapes growing in it. Vines are just such crazy plants. they grow so tall. This is definitely not one of the highest, but I just thought it was really funny when I looked up and saw some grapes growing in the trees. So I'm just up by our top well, and this is the border with our neighbour, and there's so many brambles here. They grow like crazy. You can see this one. What's amazing is the ones that have been left for a few years are absolutely full of berries, blackberries, and they taste incredible. So I'm gonna go and pick a load of these. Absolute chaos of brambles here. Just come a bit further down. There's a fig tree growing out of them here, and there's some really juicy looking ones that I can't quite reach without getting spiked. But there's some nice little ones here, so I'll carry on picking those. So I've just come down to the plateau. I'm not sure if you can hear the sirens going behind me, but I think there's a big fire today. Well, there's big fires every day, but I have just come down here because we've got obviously our lovely pear tree. They're getting really big now. Lots of them are falling off, so I should come and pick a few. I know they ripen off the plant. And then we've got another apple tree here. But what I've come down here to pick is some St. John's wort, which is this flower here. And you know it's ready to pick if you find, I mean I think these are a little bit over, but if you find a fresh bud like this one and you squish it between your hands, between your fingers, it should leave a red stain. I don't know if you can see, but you can see that the bud's gone this reddish colour as well, and that means it's a good time to pick it. And you should only ever obviously pick wild plants that you are certain of IDing, and one of the things with St. John's wort is the leaves have very tiny dots on that are see-through, so that's one way of identifying it. And then you have the yellow flowers like this. So I'm just going to pick a few of them to dry, and then you can make tea. It's a medicinal plant that's good as a mood enhancer. It's really good for relieving symptoms of depression or seasonal affective disorder or PMS. I mean, I think that kind of makes sense when you look at it. It's like this bright yellow reminder of the sun, so when you're in the midst of winter and the dark, it kind of is a reminder of the sunnier days that will come. So a handy thing you want to have if you're planning to learn to ID plants is lots of books. I really like this one, and they give you the descriptions. And another thing that's really helpful about having the scientific names, so here we've got St. John's wort, is that I have a Portuguese book, and I don't know what St. John's wort is in Portuguese, so I'd struggle to find it, but I can find it by its scientific name, because the scientific names across languages, they don't change. So I think that will be it on 183. So it's called Hipericao. They do also have on the petals these black dots. That's another handy way of IDing them. And then another thing that's growing in my veg patch is this one, and my friend Andrea was telling me about lamb's lettuce, or similar to spinach, that grows in your veg patch like a weed. So I've left this, but I need to do some more research on IDing it because I'm not 100% yet, so I'm not going to eat any until I feel 100% certain it is what I think it is, but I think this is lamb's lettuce. So another wild, free growing food. I've just given Frankie a bone and she's trying to hide it somewhere instead of just eating it. And that makes her walk around all suspiciously.
So I thought I'd do a little grape tour, just to let you know what we've got, because we haven't got a clue. Well, we didn't have a clue until the last couple of weeks, really. So I don't know if you're aware of wine terms, but it's called veraison, which is what's going on at the moment. And it's basically the process when the grapes start changing colour. So they all start off green, and then when they get close to harvest time, they will start to change colour. So here is a bunch that you can see is half green, half red. I'm pretty sure it's Tempranillo. In Portuguese it's Aragonés, which is the grape variety that goes into Rioja wine, which you probably know of if you're red wine fans. And then to make it super confusing, whoever's planted the vines has completely mixed them up. So we've pretty much got every other vine is white and red, and then white and then red. So I'll show you some of the white grapes. There you go, so big bunches. And loads of them. They're really acidic at the moment, so they've got a bit of a way to go before they ripen. But I'm not entirely sure what these are. I don't know if any of you guys are good at identifying things. There you go, that's the leaf. I think it's either Gordello or Fernão Pires. I'm not sure, but they're the two white grapes that can grow in this area, but it's a predominantly red growing area, so not really too sure. Let's see some more poking about in here. It's very wild at the moment. We're definitely not going to go with the whole fully cultivated vineyard style. You can see just about, give this these grapes, there's like a fine film on them. This might be a little bit of mildew actually. Leaves in the way, yeah, that's a bit of mildew. We had massive hailstorms in July and it's done loads of damage to the grapes, but not all of them. The ones that are quite well hidden aren't too bad. Where are we? There we are. But some of them are absolutely battered. I'll go and show you now. So yeah, check out inside here. Very nice grapes. You don't want to be making wine with these, that's for sure. You can see some of the splits here. So that'll have been done from the hail. They just put a hole in the skin, and then that's it really. That's a good example of it. Is it in focus? Yeah. So I've just popped the skin, and then that's it, dead grape. And if you put these grapes in a batch, no matter how big the batch is, the mildew will taint the wine, and you will have ruined wine, which is something that happens quite a lot around here from the wines that we've tasted and the stories that we've heard. As you can see, they're all horrible looking. It's just all damp and lack of air movement and stuff. So what they've done here, what they've done here is they've just planted them willy-nilly. There's absolutely no training being gone with them whatsoever, which is why you end up with grapevines taking over olive trees. You see that up there? Some of them go really high. There's ones that are halfway up the pear tree. There's some more examples of hail damage. So there you go, just fell off. They're almost like raisiny, but still pretty good. Small berries on this one. I'm not sure if it's a different variety. Maybe it is. The leaves are semi-similar. Let's try one. They're horribly acidic at the moment, but not too bad. Yeah, you can see, so there's a stream here, and basically the stream goes between the two rows of vines, and any sort of sensible person would have put fences and wires for the grapes to stick to. Because the way this is, it's just absolute carnage and there's no airflow. Everything else takes over it. So it's not the ideal way to grow grapes. So what we're going to do, probably Christmas time-ish, winter when everything's all dormant, is on between the olive trees, I'm going to put maybe 4 rows that come down the terraces, not onto the plateau, because the plateau gets a lot of frost in the winter, whereas the top of the land doesn't seem to get it. I'll go and show you the grapes up there because they look absolutely amazing. But yeah, so the plan will be to do conventional rows that go downwards, that follow the slope, because it's south facing, so you get a lot of sun that goes across the whole of the vines, and then with the airflow that we've got, the mean wind direction means that it'll help like with the airflow and stop mildew, etc. Whereas, as you can see by these, there's no way in hell that there's much airflow going on here. Some of them are absolutely humongous, and it's quite miraculous that the grapes have come out so well here, really. So yeah, we've got red vine next to a white vine. There's more red vines, and then it's just a big bush, really. So I think a lot of these vines are actually quite old. They're probably like 30 years old, probably starting to come to the end of their life for high production anyway. So we're definitely going to plant a whole load more. I've had this thing since I was probably 25 or something, since getting into working in wine, that I've wanted to be a winemaker. I've got loads of winemaking friends, so this is quite handy, really, having lots of good networking and stuff. But surprise, surprise, the vines that are stuck to the well are doing really good. Look at this for a mass of grapes. I think it's actually stuck to the wall. I think there's not far off a kilo bunch there, maybe actually a bit more. And yeah, super compact bunches. Another one up there. And they've got away with the hail damage, so I think they've got quite a good canopy above them. So. Yeah, again, we've got maybe 20 vines going out the side of here. And again, it's like white, red, white, red, white, red. Another really good example of why you train grapevines, because otherwise they take over trees. We've had a branch off the pear tree get pulled down by one. You can see it's going straight up to the top of here. Look, there you go, all the way from down the bottom here. And I mean, in a way, it's quite cool because you end up with like bunches of grapes that are halfway up trees or whatever. But as you can tell, it's not a very good bunch. Mildew on those. Fortunately, we've not been hit too bad with mildew, considering we've not been able to spray anything because we haven't got a license for buying sprays. So, classic example of hail damage. Absolutely battered. All dry and crispy now. Again, obviously not going to go in the wine. But the rest of the grapes are okay, just about. A couple of nice bunches here. They're nice and acidic, so it should make a good wine, hopefully. And maybe we'll mix it with the red grapes to try and make like a rosé, maybe. we'll see. Just a red blend with white grapes in it, so we've got aromatic. But you can see all the natural yeasts on the grape. So we're going to try doing it the old school way without adding yeast, because there's so much natural yeast around the area that it should be pretty good for getting some natural fermentation going on. Yeah, we'll see. So I think at the moment we've got 77 vines, something like that. We've got lots of wild ones as well, but they're not producing any grapes, so we'll probably end up digging them up and getting rid of them and replacing them with proper ones. So all going well, we should get maybe 150 litres, 200 litres of grape juice, hopefully. So we should have a decent amount to play with. So we'll probably try some experiments, make some different styles, maybe go for a sparkling. You can do this one called Pétillant Naturel, which is a naturally sparkling wine. So you do the first fermentation in a tank, and then the second fermentation happens in the bottle. Kind of similar to champagne, but the old school way of making champagne. So we'll see, you never know. Maybe if we've got enough and it works well enough, then we'll send some out to Patreons or whatever. Watch this space. You see where the lumps are?
Yeah.
Like the little bit there. That's like a depression in the cloud, like a dip. So they're like hundreds of meters, if not more.
Crazy sky.
Crazy sky.
That is stunning. Look.